I've covered for you long enough. I might sound a little rough. I'm wearing orange now and so you've Scott, you did this, and now Scott. Now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I asked you where your dad was. Where was Big Daddy? You got so angry when I went to feed the baby goat. Now Scott, now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. Where your dad was. Where was Big Daddy? You got so angry when I went to feed the baby goat. Now Scott, now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why.
Would you hope that Gary believed? You talk about, is it my response?
I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why.
Hey everybody, excited utterance here. My name's Hella. Hello. Hi everyone. So we did a poll last week. And we decided that we were sick of the state and the stupid manlet. Not that he's going away, but we were sick of the state's case in chief. And the poll said, I think it was 62% or something, or maybe a little bit more, that we're just going to skip. We're going to flip over to the defense case for a bit. And if the defense case brings up some stuff from the state's case that we think is interesting and then we want to go back, we can. Or if the defense case is boring, then we're going to go straight to the closing arguments. Because we can. Because why not? Now I know why. You were sent by David. That's nice. Hey, Debbie Prescott. Looking out for me. That's nice. Hey, half Irish, tractor, catfish, baby goat, hella mad. And I'll bring in Dali, because why not? Because you all miss him. I don't think he's been streaming for a few days.
3 days.
Have you? 3 days? Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. It's been my daughter's birthday this weekend. She turned 13, and I've been annoying her by going, now I know why. And, I asked you where your dad was. Where is Big Daddy? And she's just like, shut up. Shut up. Just like, do I need to sing the Baby Shark song? No, you don't. Because this is better. This is more infectious. My song's more infectious than the Baby Shark song. Ha. Suffer. She does love the song, but she hates it when I just start singing it. I usually sing it when I'm driving her to school, because then it's stuck in her head all day. All day. I asked you where your dad was. Where is Big Daddy? You got so angry when I went to feed the baby goats. Ah! Hey, Johnny on the spot. How's it going? Bye, France. Hey, bye, France. Marjorie's here. How are you? Now, David apparently sent some people over.
Yes,
and
he
you're bombing the
did.
chat. That's nice to hear. What were you
Yeah.
streaming, David?
Did he? I found out he was streaming about 5 minutes before the stream ended. Great job
Really?
advertising, David. Oh yeah, he was on with Sean.
Oh, you were on with Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, were you dual streaming with Sean or something?
I don't think so. I think it was Dave's. It was a big boy stream on Dave's non-monetized channel.
It was a big boy stream and Sean came on.
And Christine's
Really?
here.
Oh, Christine's here too.
I think she's going to win the monetization race, David.
I saw Christine. You're doing really well.
She is.
You are.
She's got
I've
her
seen some of your
numbers and
streams
everything.
are doing really well. Well
Better
done,
than mine.
Christine. Shammy's here. Hey, Shammy. How are you, mate? How's it going? Yeah, well, good on
God, I
you,
really
Dave.
hope Dave just heard that.
I think he did. I think he did.
Yes, yes, he's here. Sup?
Hey, Buzzsaw629, how are you? Good to see you, Dave. MLS sent me. Nice. Very good. See, there was a time when Dave used to have 900 people in chat. And when he had 900 people in chat, I used to go, oh, because I've got 900 people in chat. Oh, look in the hair.
Yeah. So I think he's going to come back streaming again.
Is he?
I don't know.
Oh. Remember that, Dave? And then one day he did this big drama stream where he said, I'm quitting. I'm quitting for good. I'm quitting YouTube. And then he had a poll at the top of the stream that said, should I close down the Discord? And like people were crying.
And then he quit, and people still kept getting more pissed at him after he quit. Not because he quit, but other stuff than when he was actually streaming.
Steve, Angel thinks she's the boss. Why would you have upset me, Steve?
It's probably something I
When?
did, not you.
Oh, yeah. Like, he upsets me all the time.
True.
He's an idiot. What would you have even done? I don't know what you're talking about, Steve. I do not know. Legit, I don't know. And it takes a lot to upset me. Like, I'm an Australian. Like, people piss me off all the time. But they're Australians. But nah.
True.
No,
I
you did
hate
not do
Australians.
anything. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Look, you did not upset me, Steve. I think you're awesome, man. I think you're awesome. David was a big meanie to a certain YouTube copyright cut. Oh yeah. And like honestly, I only pay out my friends. And when I say pay out, that's an Australian term. It means that you make fun of somebody because you love them.
Oh.
No, you make fun of somebody because you love them. Right? So I only pay out my friends. And David was actually the coolest. And he took on like the biggest bully on YouTube. And unfortunately, he bit back. So good on you, David. David's the coolest. I love David. David's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, screw that Hales guy. Yeah, his name's Hales. Screw you. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. So yeah, we decided to just jump straight over to the defense case. And of course, after the state rests, generally what happens is the defense tries to get the case dismissed. And so after 2 weeks of testimony, something like that, there's a motion for a directed verdict. So let's watch that, shall we? So just after Rusty has gone, oh yeah, I heard her say that her husband was on the burn pile, then there's a motion for a directed verdict. Christine's been a member for 18 months. No, you don't need 1,000 to monetize. You need 500 to monetize. No, I think you do now. Do you? Has it changed again?
I think so. My second channel is 1,000. I haven't done anything with it, but they say 1,000.
Oh, thank you, my friends.
What about my
I went out dancing last night, so I'm a little bit, happy because I got to dance with my favorite people for a little while.
Yes.
Hot and sweaty. We're happy about that. All right, let's get into it.
Yes.
Yes, just because you're jealous. Oh, bye. Where are you?
Asshole.
Shut up.
That wasn't even on purpose, was it?
It wasn't on purpose.
No,
No.
you wouldn't do that while you insult me.
Yeah.
Have that up and running. And so based upon us getting this witness up and running and everything seems to be working at the moment,
Oh, hey,
and
Alex.
the defense is going to call this witness, the
Aw.
state and the defense have agreed to allow the defense to call
Alexander.
this witness out of order, primarily so we don't have to keep sending y'all back
You're
and forth
out
to
of
the jury
order.
room, and that may be
This
it'll
whole
become more
court's
clear
out of
what's
order.
going on when this witness's testimony is over. All right. So, Mr. Ray, you can
J-Rock.
you can call your witness.
J-Rock in the house.
Bruce? Miss Bruce, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Oh, hang on a
Ooh.
minute. Wait. We missed it.
Forth
Oh,
to the
boy.
jury room, and that may
J-Rock
be-
just,
it'll
no
become
wonder J-Rock's here.
And so, based upon us getting this,
Try not to get too titillated.
Where's the motion for directed verdict?
ladies and gentlemen, I may have said something. I don't know if y'all were in here when we were talking about it, but we have
that's not it.
another Zoom.
It's the Hawk Tuig chick. She's finally in court for her rug pull.
Oh no, maybe the motion for directed verdict is after.
Oh yeah, because they haven't rested yet because they said it was still
No.
their case.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
They're
So
doing it out of
here's the
order.
thing: they're going to call her, and she's out of order, right?
I'll
So
say.
she's a defense witness, but they're calling her out of order because the state hasn't officially rested yet. So there we go. Okay, we can watch the good looking chick. That's fine. Yeah, all right. Sorry.
17-7. Ooh, wisdom.
We were working on that for the last few minutes, and we have that up and running. And so, based upon us getting this witness up and running and everything seems to be working at the moment, and the defense is going to call this witness, the state and the defense have agreed to allow the defense to call this witness out of order, primarily so we don't have to keep sending y'all back and forth to the jury room, and that may be, it'll become more clear what's going on
Hello.
when this witness's testimony is over. All right. So, Mr. Ray, you can call your witness.
We can call Cameron Bruce. Miss Bruce, can you hear me?
Her name's Cameron.
Yes, I can.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you'll give before the court will be the truth, the whole truth,
yeah.
nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Oh my God.
Put your hand down.
Okay.
Howdy. There is
Did she meet it? Did she meet at Hito?
that we say, okay? So if you'll just keep your answers verbal so that he can take down what you're saying, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty. First off, state your name and spell your first name since you have a different type of spelling for it.
Okay.
Wow.
Cameron, Kamryn, Bruce, Bruce.
Okay.
God.
And Miss Bruce, how old are you?
You are such a basic white girl.
18.
Alrighty. And you're currently in school.
Yes.
Where are you going to school at?
NC State.
Okay. Do you know Melody Farris?
Yes.
How do you know her?
She's Amanda's mom.
Yeah. And who's Amanda Bruce, formerly Amanda Farris?
That's my stepmom.
Okay. And who's your dad?
Chad Bruce.
Okay. Do you recall the events? Well, before I ask you that, did we send you a copy of the transcript from an interview you gave back in 2019?
Yes, I have it on my phone.
Okay.
Do you need it?
No, not right now.
Okay.
But did you read it?
No.
Okay, that's fine. If,
No,
if was
can I
asking
get your
somebody
number?
To read that, I wouldn't read it either. If I need to point you to a specific page to refresh your memory, I'll just tell you to turn to that page and where to read, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And if he tells you to read something, read it to yourself, not read it out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the way it'll go, if I need you to read something, I'll say read it to yourself, and then you just look up when you're done reading, and I'll ask the question again.
Okay.
Okay, this should be too short. I don't expect
How do I
to
get
take
the
too much
feeling
time.
she can only read picture
Do you
books?
recall July the 4th of 2018?
But I mean, I recall fireworks. Is that no?
Well, do you recall going to Lake Lanier with Chad and Melody in 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall who all was there with you at Lake Lanier?
Kind of.
Okay, well, tell me who you kind of remember.
My dad, Amanda, and then Melody.
Okay.
I don't remember anything else.
Okay, and just so the jury knows, how old were you in July of 2018?
10. Is that right?
I don't know. I was actually about to look.
Wait, I'm 18 now. So
I don't know.
that's -6. But it was right before my birthday. I was 11. I was about to turn 12.
Yeah, about to turn 12. Because your birthday is July 6th, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
You need to-
On July
You need to
4th,
take off your
2018,
shoes, sweetie.
do you recall what time y'all left Lake Lanier?
No.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't know, you don't know, okay? Not a big deal. Did you leave with Amanda and Chad, or did you leave with
Yeah, she
Melody?
needs to take her shoes off.
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you recall going back to the farm on 2000, or back to Melody's farm, July 4th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember what you were going to do at the farm?
Well, Addison was coming over. We were just gonna hang out.
Okay, who's Addison?
I guess my step cousin.
Yeah, I think that's right. They live up in Maine, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you
Cousin?
and Addison and Ellie would hang out when they would come down from Maine?
Yes.
Right. Because all of y'all are a similar age.
Right.
Okay. Did Addison make it to the farm that day?
Yes.
Do you have any type of time of day that you and Melody made it back to the farm from Lake Lanier?
No idea.
Was it what was it in the morning or was it in the evening?
I mean,
Hey,
we
baby.
spent the day at the lake, so it couldn't have been. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, if you spent the day at the lake, then it couldn't have been in the morning, right?
Right. It couldn't have been morning time.
Okay. Do you recall how long were you there before Addison got there?
Not that long. I feel like it was only a little bit.
Okay. Do you remember what you and Allison did, or Addison did, when she got there?
We just hung out, and then I think we might have went in the hot tub, or we wanted to go in the hot tub. I don't know.
Okay. Did y'all ever go outside?
I have no idea.
Do you recall going to see the horses or anything like that?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. If you could, on your transcript, look at your phone and go to page 17.
Okay.
I've never heard of a step cousin before.
I haven't
So
either.
mine isn't by pages. Mine is just one long.
Yeah, it should on the page in the bottom right corner there should be page number.
I don't even. Is that even a
I
porn
have no page
category?
numbers. It's just one long receipt.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can you count through to like a page, or there's no break in it whatsoever?
There's no break in it whatsoever.
Okay. Give me just 1 second.
Arguably, I can hide the jury video if you need me to show her something on, if you want to share screen with her.
Well, that's what. Oh, you got it. Hold on just 1 second. I didn't realize that. I don't know how they sent you a copy that didn't have the page numbers on.
Be careful what you click, sir.
What I'm going to do, judges, just share the screen, pull up the transcript.
Yeah.
Can we just hold tight for just a second? I'm going to show you the transcript, okay?
I can.
She's a Fortnite
what I'll
girl.
do is I'll black out the video to the jury while she reviews it as well.
African American out.
Melody is like, she adores this chick. You can
I
see.
know. It was like a young, innocent Melody before Hito corrupted her.
Yeah. Yeah, she did go to Hito, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a hard drive?
Yeah.
You plug it into the front of the computer.
She loved the black
Sometimes
man.
that little, yeah, for lack of a better term, even though it has power running to it.
These people are such boomers. They've been struggling the whole trial. She's almost smiling, I know. She's so happy to see her.
I know, it's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she's just happy to see any family member that didn't kill her
Are you
husband.
sharing
That's
screen?
true.
So go to where, hit share screen.
Share.
She blames half of them.
That's right. Or who doesn't think that she killed the husband?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, Cameron, can you see what looks like a Word document?
Yes, I see that.
Okay. If you will, like I said, to yourself, if you'll read from here, for the pointer, can you see the pointer?
Yes, I do.
Okay. From here, just read all of that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, love, go.
Okay.
Okay. So do you recall going outside and seeing the horses and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to put her back on the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, so hide your share. Or stop sharing.
Quit sharing Pornhub, sir.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, never done it. Okay, got it. All right. And y'all were outside for quite a while?
Yes, we were.
Okay. And then, was there a point where you and Addison began
And
to
Rusty
look for
made a
Gary?
move on you?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Do you recall where all y'all looked for Gary on July the 4th?
I think we just looked in the office and maybe his bedroom.
Okay. And you remember, was that on the main floor of the house or down in the basement?
That's the basement.
Okay. Do you remember seeing anything like blood in the basement?
No.
Do you remember seeing any bullets in the basement?
No.
Okay.
This isn't Detroit, sir.
Hope not.
Did you notice anything weird, or did Melanie not allow y'all to go outside that you recall?
No.
Okay.
Not that I remember.
At this point in your life, I knew Amanda and Chad weren't married. Had you spent a good bit of time with Melody?
Yes.
Okay. Did she seem any different that day than she did any other day?
No.
Okay. Do you recall if you and Addison went to the hot tub, or snuck out of the house to go to the hot tub on the 4th?
I think we did, yes.
Okay. All right. And do you recall how long y'all were in the hot tub?
Probably a good bit, maybe an hour.
Oh God, it was a hot tub
Do you
stream.
remember, did anything strange happen while you were in the hot tub?
No.
Okay. Do you remember what you did after the hot tub?
I think we just went to bed.
All right. Do you remember what time you woke up the next morning?
I mean, we didn't sleep in super late, but I don't remember waking up early.
Okay. You're probably not going to know, what is a 12, 13-year-old girl's idea of not early,
jeez.
but not late?
Like waking up around 9.
9? Okay.
Not very late.
Okay. All right. Was Melody there when you woke up?
Yes,
Okay.
I think.
And did y'all have plans for July the 5th that you recall?
No. Not that I remember.
Do you remember who was going to come pick you up from Melody's house?
I'm pretty sure my dad was.
All right.
He was already on his way.
All right. Did Amanda eventually show up at the house?
Oh, yes, Amanda was also. Maybe Amanda was going to pick me up, and then my dad was on his way. They both ended up there.
Amanda and Chad ended up at the house?
Yes.
Okay. And now, just so the jury's clear, we're talking about July the 5th, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, July the 5th, Amanda shows up. You recall what happened after Amanda got there?
She wanted to see Gary, so we started looking for him more.
Why start?
Justin, did you miss this? Because I think by then you'd already decided she was guilty. Huh? Huh? This is a defense case.
Well, it's out of order. Defense witness.
Mmm.
I started looking for Gary at this point in time. Did somebody say that they didn't know where he was?
Have you seen my dad?
Because Amanda wanted to see him.
Okay.
They just didn't know where he was, and she wanted to see him because she was there.
Okay. Where all did you look?
We looked back in the basement and in his room, and then his car was in the garage.
Did you ever go outside and search around the property?
Yes.
When y'all went back down in the basement on July 5th, did you notice anything out of order then?
No, because I remember we looked at, he didn't take his CPAP machine, so, because we were trying to see if he left town, but his stuff was all down there.
Okay.
And there was this nice,
But you still didn't
great
notice any
smelling
blood or
pork
bullets or anything in the basement?
smell going on
No, it looked
all over the property for
normal.
some reason.
Alright.
I don't know. I was really hungry though.
And yes or no? Okay.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Okay. All right, do you remember after Amanda arrived? Do you remember who arrived next?
I think it was either Scott or Chris. I'm pretty sure Scott.
Okay. Do you ever recall Scott talking about a gun missing from the basement?
No, I don't. I think that might have been when they put us inside.
Okay, put you inside. Did you ride on the ATV with Chris and Ellen? Or I'm sorry, Chris and Addison.
I thought it was Scott. Maybe it was Chris. I guess. I was on an ATV, but I don't know who was driving.
And I said ATV just because that's what my mind goes to. It's kind of like the RTV thing, right?
Like a golf cart type thing.
Yeah, let me just, we've got probably 1,000 photos of it, I think. Since I know how to do it now.
Oh, good Lord.
Why is he
That thing?
sharing his whole screen?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he just be
Is that
sharing
what you got
tab?
on July 5th?
That's why I said I hope he doesn't have
Did
any
you notice
porn on
anything weird
there.
about it? Did you notice any blood in it or on it?
Can you stop talking about porn?
No, I did not.
I'm just saying he's sharing the screen.
Now, eventually, you and Addison were directed to go back to the house, right?
Right.
And eventually, I believe you went with Jenna. You and Addison, Jenna picked you both up.
Yes.
going back just a little bit, if you had gone to see the horses and things, would y'all have went up to the barn on July the 4th? I'm sorry, July the 4th.
If we went to see the horses, we probably were up there.
Okay. Because remember what I just had you read? Y'all went and saw the horses, so y'all would have been up at.
Yes, we did.
Okay. And obviously, I know this has been a long time ago. You were actually interviewed in 2019, right?
Right.
Okay. So essentially a year after all of the events on July the 5th.
Correct.
All right. And do you recall Melody ever telling y'all that you're not allowed to go outside on the 5th and trying to keep you in the house?
I don't recall that.
Judge, I have no further questions.
All right.
And Ms. Bruce, the prosecutor may have a few questions for you, so just sit tight, okay?
That's important.
All right, Ms. French.
I don't have any questions, John.
All right, anything else?
Cameron, enjoy college.
Thank you.
All right,
Enjoy
you
your
can be
freedom.
excused.
Okay. I don't know how to leave.
Well, you think she would have said don't go outside because, you know, there's a dead guy on the burn pile.
All right, now that we
Don't
have
go outside for
finished
another
with that
45
witness
minutes.
Out of order.
He's nearly done.
Any other evidence from the state?
He got us.
No, Your Honor, this time state rest.
All right. So.
What?
State rest.
Mr. Ray, Mr. Weaver, we have something to take outside the presence of the jury. Based upon that, I expect that'll take some time, but so now this will become more apparent. What I'm going to do at this point, instead of sending y'all back out for another 30 to 45 minutes and then bringing y'all back in at 4:30, I'm going to dismiss y'all for the day.
Yay!
All right. Now, I'm trying to give y'all as much information as I can based upon the information as I have. At this point, we're ahead of where I told you I thought we were going to be last week. So it's looking more like we may wrap up next week instead of going into Monday. I still don't, that's not a guarantee, but it's looking more like that. The lawyers and I still have to do what we call a charge conference, where we discuss the instructions that I'm going to give you. I've also told the lawyers that I'm going to give them a full day to prepare for closing. So, but it's looking more like we may wrap up Tuesday, Wednesday, and may close Thursday. And if that's the case, then we won't take Friday off and y'all can deliberate Thursday, Friday, etc. All right, so with that, again, we're at a very critical juncture in the trial. Y'all may have now discovered some issues about this case being on the internet. So please do not talk to anyone about the case at all or let anyone know that you're on the jury. All right? With that, y'all can be excused for the day. We will see y'all Monday morning.
Murder is fun.
Leave your notepads either in your chairs or take them in the jury room. Someone have a question? Yes, probably. Yeah. Yes, normal time for everything. If I think we're going to need some extra time on one of the days, then we may not do lunch. Just depends on how it works out. But y'all will know in the morning.
What?
Not get lunch. Who is he, Judge Go?
All right, y'all want a few minutes? Are y'all ready to jump? Okay. All right, we'll give them just a second.
Motion to dismiss.
Let's take 5 because they're going to be in and out of the hallway. So let's let them leave, and then we'll take it up. So we'll take a 5 minute.
Let them leave. I always love this. This is my favorite part of every trial. Directed verdict.
Well, they're great when you think something could
Come of
be
it,
dismissed.
which is like once in a
Yeah.
never. Michael 21 was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just the best moment ever.
Oh.
He's going home. He's going home. And then just like how all the Y moms just lost their shit. They just lost it.
Oh, that was so
It
amazing.
was so great. It's like, this is disgusting. The jury should decide. He's a disgusting murderer.
Offense or some particular offense. There's no conflict in the evidence.
Here we go.
All right, go ahead.
Judge pursuant to 1791, where there's no conflict in the evidence, and the evidence introduced with all reasonable deductions and inferences, therefrom shall be deemed a verdict of acquittal or not guilty as the entire offense or some particular offense count. Starting with the aggravated assault count, The way Ms. Farris is indicted is that she did then and there make an assault upon the person of Gary Wayne Farris with a deadly weapon, a handgun, by shooting Gary Wayne Farris with a firearm. The court has heard, nor has the jury, heard zero testimony that Ms. Farris either possessed a gun and actually held a gun, let alone fired a gun at or into Gary Farris. The only evidence is that there is a bullet, which, according to their medical examiner, he cannot say to a medical certainty that Mr. Farris was shot while he was actually even still alive. Even though he has certified this case as death by gunshot and homicide, he was still unable to tell us that he was alive when he was shot, how he was killed, any vital organs that the bullet may have passed through.
Hey, Jenny.
Also, under 1791, the defendant shall be entitled to move for a direct verdict at the close of the evidence offered by the prosecution or at the close of the case. Then, even if he fails to introduce any evidence, and we're going to be introducing plenty of evidence. If the court finds that the state hasn't met their burden beyond a reasonable doubt as to the aggravated assault is the predicate count for felony murder, so both of those will go away.
It could go away.
If there's no evidence other than Ms. Farris being at the residence on July 3rd, July 4th, in that time frame, is really the only evidence that says, is what state is using to say that she is the one who committed this crime, if in fact there has been a crime committed at all. So they merely haven't met their burden as to an actual assault, considering there's actually no physical evidence that she assaulted Mr. Farris. There's no eyewitness evidence that she assaulted Mr. Farris. At best, there is just text messages and speculation that they were angry with each other over a vacation that he was buying for Chris Farris, and somehow that led to this alleged murder. But going back to just aggravated assault itself, they still haven't produced anything, even of where did she point a gun to him at, how, what time, really even what day. And so for that, I think the count 3 should be a directed verdict. And if the court grants as to count 3, then count 2 goes with it. Concealing the death of another is much like the aggravated assault count by discarding and burning the body of Gary Wayne Farris. I don't think there's any doubt that Mr. Farris was burned. It is his body on the burn pile. However, there is zero evidence that Ms. Farris put his body on the burn pile. There is no witness that says that she put him on the burn pile. In fact, everyone that has testified, they're trying to make innuendos that the tractor was used, but there's no DNA in the bucket. There's no DNA on the back of the tractor. That the RTV was used. There's no DNA in the bed of the RTV that is linked to Mr. Farris. The only DNA on the tractor is on the step getting into the driver's seat of the tractor. Nowhere associated with the bucket on the tractor. So yet again, there's no evidence that she is the one who burned Mr. Farris's body or transported him there.
Oh, look at this woman in the background.
Going to the
She's like...
malice murder count. Did cause the death of Gary Wayne Farris, a human being, by shooting Gary Wayne Farris with a firearm. You get to the same thing. There's zero evidence that she shot.
Slimy defense attorneys.
They have put forward some,
slimy,
in my opinion, credibility issue witnesses saying that, coming out of the woodwork now, about how she got a gun. And you've got Scott saying that he saw a gun, and now 6 years later, Jen is saying she saw a gun, and 6 years later, Chris is saying he saw a gun. All different types of guns, all different looking guns, but nobody can put a gun actually in Ms. Farris's hand, in her possession, or under her control. Going back to the medical examiner, while he did certify it again as homicide and cause by gunshot, when I asked him very directly, you can't say to a medical certainty that he was alive when he was shot. And he said, I cannot. So if you cannot tell me that the man was alive when the bullet entered his body, you cannot say that the cause of death was a homicide, or that he died. The cause being a gunshot, because you're literally saying he died from a gunshot wound. Then at the same time saying, well, I can't actually say he was alive when he was shot. They're just two completely contradictory things. I can sit up here and basically argue it all day. But for those reasons, we don't feel that the state has met their burden beyond a reasonable doubt to allow this case to go to the jury, at least as to the
non-alcoholic brew,
aggravated assault, and concealing the death of another. I won't be arguing about making a false statement.
Hey, 20th Century Fox.
Those arguments can close regarding that. But I don't think, I'm assuming what the court's most likely going to do is say, well, there's circumstantial evidence of all these things. But I would say that there is not circumstantial. There's circumstantial evidence she is there. And mere suspicion is not enough, and the court will charge the jury on that if we get to that point, that is not enough. That does not reach reasonable doubt. You have to have more than just suspicion. We have to have more than speculation and innuendo and people talking over text messages. There actually has to be some evidence. Regarding, I assume the state's going to get up and say, well, there's evidence of a violent crime in the house. No, there's not. The only evidence in the house is 2 drops of Gary's blood that were sent to the crime lab, and there is evidence to support that Gary might have been bleeding from a dog bite around that time. There's also evidence of Melody's finger bleeding, and there's also evidence of Scott being bitten by the rat snake, all around the same point in time. So there is no evidence of any type of violent crime going on.
Agree with
for
that.
those reasons, Judge, we'd ask you to direct the verdict, not guilty, as to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Ms. Frankish, you're going to argue?
Just briefly, Judge,
Right.
probably not as lengthy as Mr. Ray, just under 17:9:1 when the court
How dare? Hang on.
is authorized.
How dare he speak for so long to try and defend his client? I mean, really. I mean, it's only
No.
a murder charge.
I don't think she was. I think she was trying to give him shade for, everything he just said was bullshit. I'm not going to need much time to
Yeah.
tear down his argument. I don't think she was like giving him shade for defending.
She was saying.
She was being
that
condescending.
Yeah, she was being condescending. That's what it is. Yeah.
to
Wait, pause.
direct a verdict of acquittal. The court does so when there is no
What?
Pause. Go back 5 seconds.
Mm. What?
When did Alex Jones become a prosecutor?
Ah! Where did he come from? I haven't seen him before.
No.
Maybe he's like the Attorney General or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
And Melody
it's like
put chemicals in the water to turn the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand that?
Mr. Ray, just under 17:9:1
I don't like
when
them
the
kissing
court
goblins.
is authorized to direct a verdict of acquittal. The court does so when there is no conflict in the evidence, and the evidence introduced with all reasonable deductions and inferences therefrom shall demand a verdict of acquittal. That's not the case here, Judge. I won't run through all the evidence, but as far as the evidence that has been
Why is he
presented
staring
in the
at her
past 3 weeks,
bum?
there are a number of reasonable deductions and inferences from which the jury can
Oh, he's a lead
find a
investigator.
guilty verdict in this case, and it's not the court's duty or directed verdict motion to find that the state has proven their case beyond reasonable doubt. That is the jury's job, but here it is just the court's duty is to would only demand an acquittal if there was no conflict in the evidence. And here we have many issues that can go to the jury. As Mr. Ray even stated, he has already deemed credibility issues with people. That right there is a reason for it to go to the jury. He has discussed issues with mere presence and the physical evidence found and individual statements and testimonies and where Ms. Farris was located. There is conflict in all of that evidence, and that, Judge, for that sole reason, this court should deny their motion. And also the inferences that the jury can make based upon the evidence that the state has already introduced, and as long as there is some competent evidence, even if it's contradicted, then the case should go to the jury, and that's what we have here, Judge. So I ask that you deny their motion for directed verdict on the counts.
Anything else, Mr. Ray?
I'll tell you this, if you direct the verdict of acquittal as to counts 1 through 4, now.
I'll treat you to a
9
meal at
o'clock Monday
Denny's.
morning will rest.
What? Sorry?
Much as that might be.
Wait.
Direct the verdict of acquittal as to counts 1 through 4, now. 9 o'clock Monday morning will rest.
As much as that might be
Deal.
a relief to myself and the jury, that's not the basis for it. All right.
What a funny dude.
Although the evidence presented may be circumstantial,
Hey, I'll buy you a slab of beer.
Yeah, the cop isn't allowed to go.
That's too funny.
the test isn't whether I determine it's beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the province of the jury.
Or you made me laugh.
It's based upon evidence most favorable to the state's presentation that a jury could find the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and whether there's sufficient evidence to present that's been presented to the jury for the case to proceed. And I'll find that the state has met that standard. So I'll deny the motion for directed verdict. All right. Anything else for us to take up today? All right. Timeline-wise, y'all are looking Tuesday?
I think so. What our plan right now, I plan to have a majority of our witnesses here Monday morning at 9. The first few will be relatively quick. then I think we'll get him some of the.
All right, let's move on to the next day. So, yeah, a slab. We call it a slab of beer here. What do you guys call it?
Pack.
Yeah, so a slab is like a 24 pack. So it's
Oh.
like a big brick of it. It's like so big.
Yeah, I don't
big.
know.
That's a slab.
Case. I guess case of beer.
Oh, okay. A flat? What's a flat? No, we call it a slab. Because it is like a slab.
Across town, because we have another jury trial week here.
A job?
And
a
we're
pallet?
gonna probably lose our second jury room that y'all are using. They told us lunchtime, but I know they won't have a jury selected by lunchtime, so we'll use it for lunch, but then we may have to find another.
Oh no, they lose their
accommodation
second jury room.
Uh,
How terrible. Okay, so
2018.
hang on, let's go back a minute.
Joanne.
Try to figure that out, use it for lunch, but then
Eh,
Thank you, sir. We call Joanne Warkill. Please raise your right hand.
Joanne who?
Do you so solemnly swear or affirm that in the matter pending before this court, you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, lower your hand. Please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Joanne Hill.
We're gonna speed it up.
J-O-A-N-N-H-I-L-L.
All right, Ms. Hill, I want to briefly talk. I don't think this is going to be very long. I just want to discuss a email relationship or text message relationship that you were in with Gary Farris back in 2018. All right, could you tell me how that started, how you met him?
In January of 2018, he gave me his business card and asked me to call him.
Okay.
And then I ran into him multiple times, but in March,
Let me say,
Okay.
did you guys, where did y'all work? Were y'all in the same building?
yes, we worked in different law firms in the same building.
Okay, where was that?
At Wells Fargo building at Atlantic Station.
Okay. All right, so go back to the phone calls.
And then he asked me to call him. I didn't call him. I ran into him in March, and he asked me to call him again. And eventually in May, I sent him an email.
Okay, do you remember what that email said?
Something to the effect that, here's your elevator friend reaching out.
Okay. Did he respond to you? Did he comment on did he call you pretty, things like that?
Yes.
Could you explain that to the jury? To the best of your memory.
He would pass me and then text me later on and say that he saw me and I looked good.
Okay. So, did you believe that Gary was attempting to start a relationship with you?
Ooh.
Possibly,
something like-
possibly, or just get to know me.
Okay. There was some discussion, was there not? I believe you told Detective Kuykendall that
Detective
you included
Kuykendall!
a relationship. I think you called it. You kept using these words, extenuating circumstances. What did that mean?
I thought maybe if they were separated, or maybe if he had a wife that was terminal in a hospital, type thing.
What did he tell you?
Well, when that conversation took place about
Wait,
him
did you say
being
it-
married, the doors opened. And he did say he was married, and then the elevator doors opened. There was somebody standing there, and he didn't get to finish.
Okay.
You say she was terminal?
Did he wear a wedding ring?
No.
Okay.
Oh, he used
you had
the
no
old
idea he wasn't?
terminal wife move?
Right.
So, my question is, did he hold himself out like he was married, or not?
It was hard to tell through the brief times we would run into each other on the elevator or in the lobby.
Okay. And earlier, he asked you to send him some pictures of yourself. I
No.
think. No.
No.
Okay.
Ooh.
But he did call you pretty in messages and emails, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
He didn't
And
want to pay
you
for my
guys were
OnlyFans.
continually talking from January of 2018 all the way to his death?
By running into each other. Text messages didn't start.
Is that
until
what you
May.
call it
I
nowadays?
was sort of avoiding that because he was married. I had found out 2 different times he was married, once in March, and then so I wasn't pursuing that. But we would casually run into each other from time to
Oh
time.
my
Did you take
goodness.
smoke breaks together?
No,
Did you know his...
Gil. She's a
parent,
gilf.
Phillips?
I knew who she was.
Okay. Do you ever remember telling her that Gary was cute?
No, I've never talked to her.
Okay. Any of your friends
He's no Rusty.
that would have told Angela that?
No, he's certainly no
Against you?
Rusty.
I don't think so. Not,
Did you tell any of your other friends that you were trying to pursue a relationship with Gary?
no. I mean, I was interested in if he was married or not.
One second.
Wanted to
Text
see
messages. Show us the text messages. Let's
wanted to see just how rusty he was.
go.
Good morning.
Hi.
Damn it.
Yes.
Right away. My name's Melody Farris.
Hi.
You don't work at Burn Foreman,
I do not.
but at one point you possibly became interested in Gary Farris,
I did.
and he didn't wear a wedding ring, so you inquired to see if he was in fact married.
Correct.
And you exchanged some flirtatious messages with Mr. Farris at that
Yes.
point? But you never met up in person?
No.
Did you ever meet up outside of work?
No.
Did you ever become physical with Mr. Farris?
No.
In fact, you were informed after inquiry that he was in fact married,
Yes.
and you brought that to him as an
Yes.
issue for you. And his response was, that's the right thing to do. Yeah, you have to
Yes,
talk about
yes.
that. The defense has been characterizing your flirtation with Mr. Farris as an affair. Would you characterize it as that?
Absolutely not.
That's all I have for you. Thank you.
You good, Rick? All right, thank you, ma'am. You can be excused.
We call John Lambert.
That's up to the jury to decide. He was flirting with her too. It is bad, isn't it? Like, she's so dressing for the cameras.
Sorry. Sir, raise your hand. Do you swear in front of any testimony you give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, have a seat. And when you get comfortable, state your name for the record.
John Lambert.
And Mr. Lambert, what do you do?
I work for a home automation, low voltage contractor, doing smart home technology.
How long have you done that for?
Probably 20 years.
Where's it located out of?
Current company's located in Atlanta.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live in Forsyth County, Incoming.
Okay. Do you ever do security installs and things
Yes.
such as that in Cherokee County?
Yes, sir.
All right, are you aware of the property 2155 Purcell Lane?
Yes, we didn't do the original install. We've only serviced it, but yes, I'm familiar with the property.
When did you start servicing the property? I know it was a long time ago, so that's
Maybe 2012-ish, best guess.
Okay, so presumably around the time they bought the property, to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah. A few years.
Did you service that property around 2017?
Yeah, sometime around the end of 2016, 2017.
Did you ever have any interaction with Gary Farris?
Yes.
How about Scott Farris?
If that's his youngest son, I don't know the family very well. I know the last visit I was there, his one son was just back from the service. Back from the military. If that's Scott,
You don't know any?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know any names.
Okay, so we'll just
This
clear that
guy
up a little
talks
bit.
fast,
You're
that goes
aware there
to
is a
the-
son who was in the service, and he was the youngest son.
Correct.
Okay. Did this person, this youngest son, did they live on the property?
I think he was above the barn or something on the property.
Okay. Did you ever have any interaction with him?
That one visit, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and just jump in real quick. Tell the jury what your interaction with. Well, let me ask you this first. Did you ever have any interaction with Gary and the youngest son together while they were together?
Yeah, that one time on the last visit I was at the house.
All right. And tell the jury what that visit was like.
I mean, it was a little weird. They were. I can't remember what they were bickering about, but they were kind of bickering about something. And I have kids. So I bickered with my parents. It happens, but I would never do it in front of somebody working in my house or somebody that wasn't in the family. So I just thought that was weird. That's all.
All right. Do you recall any statements that the other son made?
Not word for word, not exactly, but it was something like he couldn't wait for them to go, both of them to go, so he can just have that property to himself. Something to that effect. Again, it was over 7 years ago. So.
Okay. Did this interaction between Gary and the youngest son, did it cause you any concern?
It felt weird. I just thought it was a little bit weird. At the time, no, but and then after I heard the news, it made me think of it, and that's when I reached out to a friend to say, hey, just have the detective call me, so I can just say say my last interaction with him.
I reckon he's
So
on
after
drugs.
you initially heard about there
Look at
being
his eyes.
death on the property, you had made some type of contact to law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. And were you ever interviewed by law enforcement?
It was over the phone, quick phone call. I believe that was it.
Was it one of the Cherokee County deputies?
Yeah.
Do you know? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but it was one of the Cherokee detectives.
Okay. And you
I wasn't gonna
also,
say anything, Caliph.
Told the deputy something about hearing gunshots.
Correct.
Okay. Can you tell the jury about that?
Yeah, it was, I guess it was July 3rd, 2018. And I don't remember if it was 9 or 10. It was a little bit later, 9 or 10 o'clock. It wasn't fireworks. It was just a couple gunshots. Weird at the time. I would say maybe 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
But
Now, where were you staying at when you heard these gunshots?
I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, which is about a mile away from the Farris's house.
All right. And did those gunshots that you heard cause you any concern to contact law enforcement?
At the time, no. It's North Cherokee County. You hear gunshots once in a while. In Forsyth County, you hear gunshots once in a while. Just that close to that late at night was just a little weird. But at the time,
America.
Okay. And did you also hear any fireworks about that time?
not around the same time, but that night, I'm sure either earlier or later that night there was fireworks.
And going back to when you were at the residence, did you ever see any type of odd behavior between Gary and Melody Farris?
Not that I can recall. I think I maybe saw Melody once or twice in all the visits over there, and nothing that I could.
Okay. So the only interaction between any of the family members that you saw that gave you any concern was between Gary and Scott?
I just thought I had a weird feeling from it, that's all.
Okay.
You know.
No further questions, Judge?
Thank you, Your Honor. Police Court. Ms. Lambert, how are you this morning?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm pretty good. You don't want to be here, do you?
I don't think anybody does, but.
Yeah. Never thought you'd come in and be testifying in a murder case, would you?
No, I mean.
God's sake.
When I talked to
Manlet.
the detective in 2018, that's the last I'm not a big person on the news. I had no idea until I got subpoenaed a few weeks ago.
For God's sake.
Totally forgot about it.
Right. Well, you agree with me that you just had a gut feeling something was just not right, so that's why you contacted law enforcement?
Well, between hearing the gunshots and the interaction I had the year before, and it being in Gary Farris, you know, was limited interactions, only services, maybe 4 or 5 times been to his house to services. So he was always a nice, genuine, great guy.
Right.
So, you know,
You just want to give law enforcement any information that you had, right?
Yeah.
And it was those gunshots that concerned you, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was unusual.
It was unusual that night, and you were you were a little north, you were staying in a home a little north of the Purcell Lane, Scott and Gary's residence.
Correct.
And Scott's who we're talking about, the son that was there?
I don't know the family members' names. The youngest son that just
Yeah,
got
the
back
one
from
lived there, right?
yeah.
Worked on the property? Yeah, that's Scott.
Yeah.
Tall guy?
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, and you agree with me that they were not about to get in a fist fight or anything like that?
No.
In fact, I think when I asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being fisticuffs, 1 being nothing, you said it's around a 1.
Yeah, I mean, parents bicker
You're
with
putting
kids.
words
The
in
only
his
thing I
mouth,
just felt
Manlet.
weird doing it in front of.
Right.
First time me doing it, like if I argue with my kids, it would be with my kids and nobody else in front of my
I mean, you're not saying that.
No, but yeah, it was just.
You agree that parents and children argue, right?
Of course, yeah.
And sometimes we argue with our parents in situations where we may not want to, we go back and look and say, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that with other people around.
Of course,
like
yeah.
But you never felt like Scott was threatening his dad or anything, did you?
No.
Never felt like it was a violent incident or anything like that, right?
No.
It's just when you knew that there was a murder on the property with Gary, and you knew what you knew, and then you heard those shots, you felt like you should just contact law enforcement, right?
Yeah, that's it. Just maybe think back to that last visit there, which I hadn't even thought about until I heard the news, and say, hey, let me just at least,
Fair enough.
you know.
Now,
say
those
what I-
gunshots, that was Tuesday, July 3rd, 2018, around, I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock.
This thing, he can lead him. He's on cross. This is bullshit, though. He's completely putting words in his
Sometime
mouth.
around then, yeah.
And it was 3, 4 shots. You remember how shots you heard?
It was a couple. If I have it written down when I talked to the detective back then, it's over, 6 years. I don't recall now exactly what it was. If it was written down on whatever I spoke to the detective back then, pretty sure it was a couple.
Okay.
Maybe 2. I don't remember for sure.
But it was such a time of night that it was odd that gunshots were being fired then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't hunting time or shooting time or anything like that, right?
Yeah, and I don't know what shooting time is or when
Right,
hunting season
Caleb?
is, but Cherokee County, Forsyth County, you hear gunshots once in a while.
But not when it's night.
Not
like that.
not when I'm laying in bed at night. It was a little late.
You agree with me? It's those gunshots that gave you concern that you called law enforcement.
Yeah, but once I heard that they found Gary, that's when I wanted to say, hey, I heard gunshots at night. I wanted to talk to somebody, just let them know I did hear gunshots that night.
No, thanks for doing that. We appreciate it. Have a nice day, okay?
No, we appreciate it. hmm But we didn't call you.
Can you recall to the jury what you remember Scott saying?
I can't tell you what they're arguing about, whether it was taking care of the property. I really don't remember, but he said something to the effect that, when his parents go, he can't wait to just take over the place. Something to that effect.
Not a quote.
I'm trying. Yeah, it was something to that effect, but I can't remember exactly from 6 years ago what was said.
I completely understand. Last thing is, when you heard these supposed gunshots on July 3rd, were you, first, how far away is your residence approximately?
About a mile.
Okay. Were you inside or outside of the home?
Inside, and it's an older home that was built in like the 20s, which doesn't have much insulation and with old windows. It was an older home, so it wasn't. Yeah, that's all. You hear every noise in the house.
Okay.
From outside.
No problem, but you were inside?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions, sir.
All right, you can be excused. Thank you, sir. All right, come in, next witness.
Yeah, we call Dave Thomas.
All right.
The testimony is pretty weak. I gotta agree, Johnny. They're gonna have to bring something better than this. Come on, dudes. Bring us something better than this. Let's go. Who you got? I don't remember how long the defense case went for. It might have been a couple of days. Get Scott or Chris back on the stand. Yeah, I hope they're saving the better ones. Having a little chitty chat amongst themselves. Who they got back there? Come on. The real murderer! The goats! The goats saw
Keep
everything.
going. Just before you sit down, just look at me. Okay. Don't sit down. Raise your hand. You swear to affirm the testimony you give before the court, be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, put your hand down. Go ahead and you can have a seat. State your name for the record.
David Thomas.
All right, what do you do, Mr. Thomas? For a living?
I currently work for a food distribution company here in the Atlanta area. Also own my own company.
Okay. Do you know Ms. Farris?
I do.
How do you know her?
Through a close friend, Alan.
That Alan?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, she's
And when
smiling.
did you meet Ms. Farris?
I met her, I think it was in the end of October, November of 2018.
All right. And you're aware of Gary Farris's death?
I am.
All right.
No, really? Is he
How much did
dead?
you interact with Melody after you met her in, what'd you say, October?
It's the end of October, the beginning of November.
Okay. In 2018?
Yes.
All right. How was Melody at that point in time?
As far as your first question, interaction, over a number of months after I first met her, we became really close as far as friends is concerned. And
Hey,
when
Lisa.
I met her, she was at Alan's house.
That's kinda
and I
why
was
we're here,
renting
Lisa.
a downstairs apartment at Alan's house. So I could tell upon the first time I ever met her that she was very depressed. And the interaction I had with her was that she was like, you know, this lady needs a friend. She needs somebody to talk to. She needs some hope.
Hang on.
I didn't know the real
Where's this
details
going?
of her husband's passing, other than the fact that he'd been found in a burn pile, and that was about it.
And at that point in time, did you and Melody become friends?
Yes, we became friends. I slipped a note in her, inside of her open purse with my phone number, and I asked her to give me a call. Because at that time, it was approaching Christmas time, and my friend Alan was fighting stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And I wanted to talk to Melody about that. And what I decided to do at that time, and it was my decision, is that I wanted to throw a Christmas party for Alan because I felt that Alan was extremely depressed. He'd already been through one surgery, was about to go to another surgery. He was on chemo, and basically Alan was at death's door.
Was Melody, I gotta break you up a little bit. Did you ask Melody to help you plan this Christmas party?
I did, and the reason I did that is because I didn't want to celebrate Christmas anymore. My dad died Christmas Day a few years earlier. And unfortunately, my mom also died at Christmas a few years later during the COVID crisis. But anyway, I asked Melody if she would be willing to help me because I started thinking, okay, you've got 3 depressed people, Alan, myself, and Melody. And I said, Christmas is a time of joy, it's a time of celebration, and I wanted to get her to be involved. I wanted to give her some hope. I wanted to try to make her smile. And we both had one common goal, and that common goal was to lift the spirits of our friend Alan.
What did y'all end up doing then, having the Christmas party?
We had a Christmas party.
What's with him?
Melody helped me to orchestrate it, to decorate the house. And basically, we had Alan to go away from the house. We had the neighbors and the family members to come over and decorate the entire house, including moving in a baby grand piano, having a Broadway star to come down the staircase inside, and having a band inside the house to play for the Christmas party.
Wait, this is
Wait
the
for
staircase
that.
murder
You know,
trial
I
location
really blew
too?
it out. I didn't have a lot of money, but I did everything I could to try to surprise my friend.
And I'm assuming that you funded this Christmas party.
I funded this, yes.
Okay.
And, it was Melody that stopped me from putting the nativity scene out front because she did have a mule and some goats, and I decided that may be taking it too far. But
And
anyway.
she
Oh, she
didn't
wanted to
like-
put the
a great
goats
help
there.
to me.
She didn't like
It did
Jesus.
help her to come out of her shell a little bit, and it lifted her spirits, but it also surprised and lifted the spirits of our friend. And
Did y'all remain friends after the Christmas party?
yes, we did.
Was there ever, because you had mentioned the baby piano. Do you play the piano?
I do.
Was there ever an instance where you had to have Melody help you try to move a piano?
Yes.
Oh, I see
I'm a
what this is
classical
about.
musician, and she helped me and the neighbors to move it into Alan's house. And then after the Christmas party was over, I think it was sometime in January, maybe the beginning of February, I needed to move the piano out of his house because he was trying to get ready to sell his house at that time. And I had no place to put the piano. I was also engaged to be married at that time, and I didn't know exactly where I was going to be living. I did not want to put the piano in just any rental unit in town. Melody said, well, why don't you just put it in my garage until you can figure out what to do with it.
Did you in fact move the piano into her garage?
I did move the piano into her garage. I borrowed a farm trailer that she had and moved it out to her farm. Alan could not help us unload it, and it was just me and Melody and Alan had just had surgery. So Melody and I were trying to get the piano off the trailer, and the trailer has, if I remember right, kind of a wire mesh on it like some of the rental trailers have. And it almost turned over, and she really had a hard time lifting it. I had a hard time lifting it, but we were able to finally get it off, and the piano weighs 400 or 500 pounds. So we were able to get it off and get it situated in her garage.
Okay. And that was mainly with your help?
My help. She helped to balance it, but it almost turned over because of how I had it on the rollers. And with a baby grand piano, you move it on its side with the legs off of it. There's a certain way to move these things, but it's a lot of weight.
And you rolled it?
And I rolled it, yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with Melody's children?
Say that again?
Do you know Melody's children?
I have met them, yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Which ones have you met?
I've met Amanda, Scott, and I've met the son-in-law, Chad.
When you were moving the piano into Melody's garage, did Scott come over?
Yes.
Okay. What happened with that?
We had moved the piano. I had backed the trailer up to the front of the garage, and we moved the piano into the garage. And I was getting ready to leave, and I had disconnected the trailer from my car. And then out of the blue, Scott comes from the barn area where he was living, and he rushes up the road, and he comes toward me. And I had never met him. I did not know who he was. And he was screaming and yelling at me and Alan and Melody. And basically, Scott was screaming very loudly at me, like, why are you here? Who are you? What are you doing on this property? Like he owned the place or something. And
Was
then,
Melody there with you?
yes, Melody was standing in a proximity of where I was. And he was screaming, don't you know there's been a murder here? Why are you here? And then he and his mother got into it. And I said, son, I'm sorry about your dad. I said, I've lost my dad. And I understand what it's like to lose a father, but I have nothing to do with this. Why are you yelling at me? Well, you don't understand. No one's supposed to be here. This is a murder scene. And I said, son, I'm sorry.
And just to clarify for the jury, what year was
Does
this?
sound like Hanko.
This would have been probably 2019. This would have been after the Christmas party.
So sometime between January and February of 2019?
Yes.
Did Scott eventually just go back to the barn, or did he leave?
No, he kept hanging around there, and
Wow.
he was very. I don't like to talk about anybody that I don't know, but he was very out of control. I mean, to a point of where it was like, if I came up to you on the street and started yelling at you for no reason, that's the type of craziness that was going on.
Crazy.
Was that your first time at Melody's house at 2155 Purcell?
I think that was my second time because I'd been out there once before, I think with Alan, and it was for a Christmas, not really a Christmas dinner, but kind of a Christmas come have some pie and cake type thing, just the three of us, Alan, myself, and Melody, and I think there was another lady there. I don't know what her name was.
Did you ever have to help take care of the farm, feed the animals, or anything like that for Melody?
I did, but I want to say one other thing about the Scott situation, if I may. So when I got ready to leave, Alan was in his vehicle, I was in my vehicle. We got ready to leave the property. Scott followed me for 3.5 to 4 miles at a very high speed, and I couldn't understand why. And it made me upset and nervous, and I thought, why is this dude following me? Well, I haven't done anything. And I called 911, and the only response I got from 911 was, what county are you in? Where are you? And I couldn't give them any information because I wasn't using GPS on my phone at that time. And the only way I got away from him was to make a right-hand turn at the very last moment. But it was very intense, and even to this day, I don't know why he was following me off the property.
Thank you for that.
What was your other question? I'm sorry.
Did you ever have an occasion to have to either assist Melody with taking care of doing farm chores, or feeding the animals, anything like that?
I did know about all of her animals. She had chickens, she had goats, she had a mule that they called donkey, and she had probably three or four horses on the property, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Did you ever have to feed them?
I did feed them about 3 times, and after Melody was arrested, I went back out to the farm with her son-in-law Chad to change the locks on the house because there was an issue there where some things were coming up missing. And I went out, I told Chad, I said, something's wrong, something's not right. And Chad was a little bit hesitant for me to go out toward the barn area. And I said, Chad, I'm going out to look at the animals. And the donkey did not look healthy. The horses did not look healthy.
Oh.
And I went out there and the water troughs were all completely dry.
Oh, no.
They had not had any water for I don't know how long, probably a few days. I put water in the water troughs, and the horses literally came running up toward me. The donkey came running toward me. There was no food. I ended up privately going and buying hay and food for the animals.
When was this?
This was right after, I think right after she was arrested. And she wasn't at the property because it was just Chad and I, whatever the time period where.
So sometime the summer of 2019, does that sound about right?
Probably. But I went out there, I probably fed the animals 3 different times. I know I went to the fence, I think, and threw a bale of hay over. And I called animal control at least 3 times to get somebody out there.
Wow.
And I think there was something written up where I did call animal control.
Did you ever see while you were out there attending to the animals? Did you ever see Scott Farris out there?
No, it did not.
That's all I got, Judge.
Scott's an asshole. That's it.
Good.
I'm Jeffrey Focus. I think we talked on the phone several weeks before trial started. Is that right?
I think so, yes.
And you're in, not show business, that's wrong, media, is that right?
I spent 24 years in broadcasting.
Okay, what'd you do?
13 of those years I worked for NBC Nightly News, or a local affiliate in Birmingham, Alabama. And then I worked for a software broadcast company for a year.
Yeah,
and then
now I'm
I
hella
spent 10
mad.
years at the Weather Channel as their main commercial coordinator.
All right. And I think you told me you won some awards and things?
I have 2 Emmy Awards for my writing. As far as that is concerned with the television station I worked for. And I don't know what else you want to know.
You enjoy the media and things like that?
I did at the time, up until the time that it was time for me to do something different with my life.
He's making it up.
And fair to say that you have had
He's
lots of
creative.
conversation with the defendant, Ms. Harris?
During the time that she and I were friends, from the time I met her to the time she was incarcerated.
So you've had lots of conversations with her?
True,
Yes.
it's true.
By phone calls,
In person and by phone calls,
text messages?
probably.
How many times do you think you text her between when you came back into her life until today? If I was to look in your phone or your history, how many text messages are between you two?
During that time that I knew her, I have no idea because I had a lot going on in my life. I was in the process of getting married. I was in the process of moving. I was in the process of helping to take care of my friend Alan.
Well, when you were in the media, you actually had to pay attention to details and grammar and syntax and things like that because you got an award for writing. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you do pay attention to details, right? I mean, professionally, that's what you're trained to do.
Right.
All right, so how many text messages are between you and the defendant since you came back into her life? You can round it up, 1,000, 2,000, how many?
I don't know. Probably, I would say probably under 100.
And how many times have you talked to her? How many conversations have you had with her?
It just depends as far as, I'm trying to remember because it's been, 6 or 7 years ago. It's a long time ago. And I would probably say, as far as my physical interaction with her and talking to her, probably every other day just to say, hi, how are you doing, that sort of thing, making sure that her safety is okay. She was concerned about her safety.
So can you answer my question? How many times do you think you talked to her?
I don't know, maybe a few hundred.
And how many times did she tell you she wanted you to make a police report or make a statement about Scott or do something for Scott?
She never told me to do that.
How many times do y'all discuss you making a police report or something like that?
I don't know that there was any of those times that she did.
Well, obviously, I had to tell her about it for you to be here, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You have to tell her about it for you to be here. The attorneys didn't know about those before, outside of her, would they?
I'm not clear on what you're asking.
You testified today that you had to call, I guess, something with law enforcement when Scott was following you, and I think also.
Yes, I called 911 because I couldn't understand why he was calling me. Why he was following me, excuse me.
So you two talk about at least that, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you're here today because of what you've told her. Would that be fair to say? I mean, you didn't know her attorneys before this event, did you?
No.
So you didn't tell them outside of her about all these incidents, right?
No, I mean, I don't think I did. I mean, I
Okay,
don't-
so it's fair to say that you're here based on what you've told her or what she's told you, right?
during that time period.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay. And you testified to three main things: a Christmas party in 2018, is that right?
that's correct.
And you did that because you are a nice guy, correct?
I try to be.
Yeah. And you feel for the defendant, right?
I feel for Melody because I've been through a Great Depression in my life. I know what it's like to lose family members. I know what it's like to be extremely depressed.
Yeah. And you seem like a reasonable person. And you talk about depression and feeling sad and things like that. And you talk about this trailer incident with Scott. But you could also, if you put on kind of an objective hat, you would agree with me that Scott, he also could be sad and be depressed and be upset when he believes his mother murdered his father.
Well, I think that the whole family would be disturbed and upset during this time period. And, you know, but the interaction that happened that day between Scott and myself, that wasn't depression. That was control. That was anger.
Ooh.
So that would be no, you don't understand that Scott could be upset because he believed his mother killed his father, or yes, you believe he could be upset.
No, I do believe he could be upset.
And then finally, when he followed you, he followed
You
you
need
on
to
public
control
road,
your
right?
witness.
That's correct.
He never laid a hand on you, correct?
Never laid a hand on me.
Never threatened you, right?
That's not his witness.
Well, I don't know. When someone follows you at a high speed, don't you feel
Well,
threatened
you
by
cut
that?
him off.
No.
So if you left this courtroom and you went down the street and a stranger started following you, you wouldn't feel threatened.
Oh.
I see. Okay.
He never
Okay,
said,
little
I'm
man.
gonna hurt you, I'm going to kill you, anything like that, right?
No, it was just basically he was yelling and screaming. I
It's
didn't
such
know it.
bullshit.
So when you're on that public road and he was following you, you were in your vehicle, correct?
I was in my private vehicle, yes.
Manlet's
You were driving
being
away, right?
That's
owned.
correct.
And if he felt like you were doing something improper on the property, whether stealing something or helping his mom to take something, you could understand that he may want to follow you and see where you go, right?
No, because I wasn't doing anything wrong.
But you can understand how he feels about what's going on with his mom because of the murder, right?
I love it.
No, because I will say this. After that interaction and seeing how he was acting, it was very close to being violent that day. And I felt threatened as far as that arena is concerned. And anytime you leave a situation like that where someone's yelling and screaming, you don't know what they're capable of doing. You don't know what they're going to do. That's why I called 911.
And that's based on how you felt, right?
Yes, that's how I felt.
And you're basically saying that you were scared of Scott. Is that fair?
At that moment, yes.
So let me get this straight. You thought Scott was violent, and Scott was out of control, and he was very upset. But yet you went back to the property not once, not twice, but 3 times by yourself when Scott could be there?
No, it was not by myself. I always had somebody with me. I would never go on the property by myself.
So concerned with him that you went back and fed the animals when he could possibly.
I always had a family member or somebody with me because I'm smart enough to know that you don't go on private property without somebody's okay or without a family member or a police officer or somebody. My concern was for those animals. Those animals were not being taken care of during that time period. I grew up on a farm with my grandparents in the summertime, and I understand what horses go through. I know they can get colic. I understand when an animal looks hungry and acts different, they're hungry. And you probably have pets, I have pets, and your pets are going to come to you when they're hungry. Those animals during that time period, whatever he was doing, wherever he was, were not being fed.
That's your opinion.
That is my opinion. And when you have an animal to run up to you begging for water and food, yes.
Nothing more, Judge.
This is one follow-up
Go
question.
ahead.
Mr. Thomas, have you spoken to Melody since she was arrested?
I went to the jail to see her a few times.
Okay, let me break it down a little bit. Have you talked to her any in 2024, either on the phone or in person?
No,
2023,
no.
2022?
I don't know what year she
That
was
was
in
awesome.
jail. She would have been in jail, what was it, the year 2019. Maybe I spoke to her in 2020.
Okay.
I had a lot going on. My mom died in 2020, so there was a lot of, I don't know the time period during that.
But you haven't talked to her recently
No.
or any relevant portion before this trial?
No.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
Have you talked to Alan sitting right there recently?
He is a good friend of mine.
That's not my question. Have you?
Yes, I've always talked to Alan.
Nothing more, Judge.
All right. Anything else? All right, you can sit down. Thank you, sir.
I love that witness.
All right,
It was great. He freaking owned Manlet. He owned him. That was so good. Oh, you screwed up royally, Manlet. Oh my god. Was that the worst lawyer questioning since what? Photo chat?
Chat in Rittenhouse.
That was so bad. So what?
Oh.
You're saying you think Scott's violent? Oh my God. And then he said yes. Of course he thinks Scott's violent. Oh, so you went onto a property on your own thinking that Scott's violent? No, I didn't go on the property on my own.
Yeah.
Of course I wouldn't. Oh,
And
you fuckwit.
the reason he's going there is to take care of abandoned animals.
That Scott abandoned.
Yeah. Like, he's not just taking a scroll through the property.
He could have asked him, how come you got a lady, like a tiny little lady, to help you with a baby grand piano? That would have been smarter,
Yeah.
right? That would have made it look like she's really like super strong. Because the testimony was to try and make it look like
That's a
she
good
couldn't
idea.
handle it.
That's a good idea,
Right?
actually.
Like, yes, because he was, the first thing he testified to was that she struggled to help him. Right? But Manlet could have said, why would you even get someone this small to help you with a baby grand piano? She must have been pretty strong
Yeah.
to be able to even help you at all.
That would have been actually a really good line of questioning.
That would have been a good line of questioning, right?
Yeah.
But no, he didn't even go there.
Didn't even think of that.
Nah, he didn't go there. He started asking him questions that he didn't know what the answers were going to be, and he got fucking bitten.
Well, he should have known. I mean, it was pretty obvious what the answers would be. I think he just got flustered. And
He got, yeah, and the dude was better.
yeah.
Like, the dude was ready. He didn't yet. Like, the witness did not get flustered. The witness was like, no, I was scared of him at that point in time, and he was violent. That was great. He was lost, and yeah, he had gotten so owned. Yes. Lawyer, you weren't threatened. This guy following me at high rate of speed was threatening. Yes.
Yeah, when somebody follows me, yeah, it's pretty intimidating.
Yeah. Oh dear. I wonder what it's like to get wrecked by NBC. Oh, that was brilliant. I love it when you're just not expecting a witness to be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
That was too good. All right. Yeah, we're going to continue with the defense case. I hope there's more like that. Yeah. It was classic behavior to think you have control over the room. He thought the witness was going to cower under those questions. Yeah, no, he didn't, eh? He was great. I love him. That was awesome. Not that it made any difference. I mean,
No, but
still, he made Scott look like an absolute ass, right? Like, nothing is worse than making someone look like a animal abuser.
yeah.
There's just nothing worse than that. Like, you can make them look like a murderer and just a narcissist and all those things. But if you expose them for starving animals,
And then he tried to impeach him on feeding starving animals.
yeah, then you try to impeach him on that. Please.
Well, it's not reasonable to go to the place where you're afraid of somebody. Well, I was with somebody, and
How dare you go back and feed the animals for him?
yeah, that he abandoned.
Yeah, that he abandoned. God. Scott got in the way of his sympathy play. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do think he was maybe doing the sympathy move there on Melody, but
Sure. Hang on. Did someone insinuate earlier that this guy's gay though?
oh,
'Cause
did they?
is Alan his special friend?
Oh, yeah, baby grand
Yeah.
piano.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
maybe you might be right. Because I don't think he was trying to get in Melody's pants.
Okay, Rusty's
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe if he met Rusty, yeah, they make a lovely couple. Hello, we need a poll. One, has Dali had
Had
has
somebody
Dali
following
had-
him.
Has someone following him too? Dali has stalked somebody.
Well, okay, somebody has followed me twice. I did flip them off first, but they did follow me for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they were kind of an asshole in traffic. I flipped them off. They got upset.
And then they followed you.
Yeah, for a little while. And then I just kind of went in circles for a little while and then got on the freeway and they gave up.
Right. What were they going to do to you, I wonder?
Something sexual, I'm sure.
Great. So you should have stopped.
I know, I should have.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have scored.
Yeah, I mean, if you're mad and you're following somebody and they just casually go around in circles, that's got to really set them off. Oh, and the other time, this guy rolled down his window to scream at me at a light. So I just started quoting Silence of the Lambs. It puts the lotion on the skin. It does this whenever it's told. I just screamed, put the fucking lotion in the basket. And started rubbing my nipples.
Did not.
I did. And at the end, he started laughing.
Oh, dear. Hang on.
Good times.
What do you got? Are you streaming tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll do
Sure
probably
you are.
Judge Simpson at 5:30.
Okay. We're going to redirect over to Andy Kopsar. She's doing she's doing a live right now. It's a bit more serious than this. So maybe just say Hella sent me other than Hella Ray. That might be nice. So the topic is actually, it's about Ange, our friend from RM Productions, and some dramatic stuff that she went through in relation to her fight for justice in the prior to the trial of Richard Allen, and some Indiana State Police investigators came knocking on her door over state lines, actually, knocking on her door in the middle of the night, accusing her of some nasty stuff, and that's what that's about. So that started an hour or so ago, so you might need a little bit of catch up. But yeah, I'm going to redirect over to that and go support her in chat. Yeah, I know half Irish. It's a pretty nasty story. So yeah, we're going to go over to there now. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably we'll do some more Coburger stuff tomorrow because there's so much happening with that. Where's J-Rock? Yeah, we need J-Rock. Damsel to save. Yeah. Okay. Guys, thank you. That's been really fun. And I'll see you again tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Time for the song. Time for the song.
Her name was Hella. She was an Aussie. She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. The co-host is Dolly and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 803. To be attention, excited utterance. Her cat is staring from where he goes. Listen, we are sensitive.
The nature of my